We are live.
We're alive. It's alive. Welcome
Is it?
back, everybody, to another fun-filled day of adventure. Our party finds themselves in quite the quandary. Half the group is captured and enslaved by within Kelmoraine by the forces of Codswan.
Actually, it's only a third of the group.
Yeah, that's true. In the grand scheme.
Oh, if it's only a third, then that's just collateral damage. We should just go.
Just leave them. You got what you came for. Come back for them. They can fight in the market just fine.
I'd like to spend some points.
How is it only a third? We've got 6 PCs and 3 of them have been captured. That's 50%.
Oh. Sorry, I keep forgetting that Zistral got captured too.
Oh, well, that changes the whole thing then.
And if you take into account, the total number of PCs involved, or
heck, if we're gonna do total math, then it's like more than 50%.
Well, 50%. That means we can't leave a man behind.
What about Zistral?
That doesn't
He's not
bode
a
well
man.
for Lanfan.
Or Lanfang.
Oh wait, actually, the ones that, so she's female. Zistral's a centaur, not a man, and Thorn is an elf guy, not a man.
Well, he's still part man.
We can't leave her behind. She may be ugly, but she's still a dwarf.
Wow. Oh, that made my head hurt.
I'm not going to lower myself to your level.
Oh. Or
Short
you won't
jokes.
rise to the occasion. Oh.
Yeah, I totally walked into that. Screw you.
Like a really low bar.
At least it'll hit you in the groin.
I'll step over it.
Not if I swing it.
And again with the violence. Ethan, give us a shout out if you're in danger.
You can always use whisper, Ethan.
I like fruit. That was subtle enough, right?
Everything's groovy.
Yeah, that's
Everything's
the
groovy.
that's the distress word is groovy.
We all know something's wrong if somebody claims that things are groovy.
I don't know. The fruit thing was pretty true, too.
The safe word is in chat.
How am I supposed to use that in a sentence?
Are you sure?
Okay, so.
Alright, so I think based on what I've got is
For
that,
those of us that actually read the question.
okay, so for
Slackers.
for this session we're probably gonna do a lot more just how you guys want to
Winging it?
see this playing out. And winging the snot out of it. Or I have some ideas, and I have full confidence that you guys will dash those plans completely
With a rock.
asunder. And a hammer. 'Cause you'll throw that rock first and then use the hammer to break the rock into whatever remains. So,
Winging it, it's the only way to roll.
right. Or not roll.
Did I mention I wanted to spend some points?
Yes.
I wanted to get really good with my axe.
Even better?
Are
Mo
you
better?
not?
Hell better with my axe.
Well, assuming you don't breach the 18 rule, or just get to 18, I think we'll be fine with that.
Well, that will put me in exactly 18.
Word up. I think Zistral's just as good with his spear, too.
Meanwhile, my base polearm skill is 12.
And yet you did extremely well in the last few actual combats that he was in, so...
Not last one.
Well, last one was just a little more...
Well, you contributed.
You kept them on their toes, and they weren't happy.
Don't feel down. Your abilities lie elsewhere.
Oh,
Everyone's special.
that reminds me, sort of. Originally, I was under the impression that Aslam was going to have been captured and escaped, and thus had no gear. Since we established that that was not the case, I think he needs a knife as a sidearm as well. Not that you'll make a fuss, I'm sure.
I'm fussing so badly right now. So terribly much.
It would have simplified things last week if I had a knife.
You forgot about it. It's just like a superhero forgetting they have superpowers. All right, so how we're gonna play this one out is the current idea, from what I understand, is you guys are planning on sneaking into this back into town. However, waiting for it to populate with the various slave vendors, battle market attendees, and everything else, and everyone else under the sun that decides to show up for the sport and entertainment that is scheduled to occur within the next few days.
So you said in the forum that no fighting in the battle market rule. That only applies to the battle market, so you can kill people as they go to the battle market?
Well, think of it as a town with really slack laws. Like, if you kill someone in a back alley, and no one's going to investigate a murder, first of all, anywhere outside of the battle market. Heck, inside the battle market, no one's going to necessarily investigate a murder either. There is no open fighting while inside the battle market. All fights are taken to the floor, as it were. However, that doesn't stop someone from, sitting next to someone else and, sticking a stiletto through them and letting them bleed out on the bleachers. As long as you get away with it and no one catches you, no one's going to sit there. At least no one that's of an authority in Kelmarine is going to bother investigating.
They're more
Now-
like guidelines than actual rules.
Right. If you're caught causing a ruckus in the town proper, you might get set upon by the gnolls, and 9 times out of 10, if it's a fight between you and someone else, it might just draw a small crowd, and they'll let it play out and decide, at the end, who's if they need to intervene in any way.
So if we just turned up in town with the intention to go to the battle market, we'd be murdered along the way.
Probably not. No one's typically. Well, no one knows who you are. They may recognize you if you get face to face with them. If you even the most rudimentary of clothing changes will probably mask who you are. I mean, they've only encountered you for about a minute or so in the grand scheme.
And they encountered most of us at about a half a football field away.
So
The ones
being able
that
to
they encountered a lot of, they captured.
Yep. So there's also expected to be quite a number of groups, and as Assam will probably interject that within the next few days you'll see a large increase of the population in the area. So they'll have their own little camps and such within within Kelmarine proper, taking over various buildings for their own purposes, etc. And if you look at the map itself, a large portion of the area will be turned into kind of like a slave market. That big circle will kind of turn into auctioneers, and it's not just the slaves that are there in Kelmarine, but the slaves that are brought in from outside as well will be handled there.
So it's quite possible for us to just sort of tag along with a group that's entering, and we'd be unnoticed.
Correct.
So then maybe that's how we get in, and when we get to the battle market, we go, surprise, it's us. And then we try and get our friends back.
If somebody asks, we say, we're looking at slaves.
I lie. It's just what your motivation for doing it so is. So,
but we have a bag of gems. So perhaps we could show up and then make a fair bit of noise in front of the whole assembly and say we'd like to bargain for our friends' lives. This is our collateral, all the monies, and then maybe we sweeten the deal by giving them a fight that is legendary.
That is a viable plan. Being able to purchase the fighters is something that is done. For the most part, the fighters are just much more valuable slaves to them, and they serve as kind of your entertainers. So the better they fight, the more they're worth, the higher the cost. However, that also
So really, when we get into the ring, we should really just sandbag it so we're not worth anything.
However, there tends to be a high mortality rate in the ring too, so it is pretty much blood sport. Doesn't mean that all fighters tend to fight to the death, but if you kill your whoever you're contending against, no one's gonna cry necessarily. Maybe the owner might, but if you're brought to your knees and left left unconscious, generally it's bad form to murder them outright, or perform a coup de grace. But
somebody paid good money for that.
Exactly. So, but if you're in the fight and the guy does a full swing and takes your head off, well, that's the breaks.
And you mentioned that if we did it publicly, we did this open challenge, that it would be pretty hard for them to renege on that and
Correct.
Still save face.
Yeah, reneging on a challenge generally will kind of force them to adhere to the rules and such. Now, chasing you guys
it'll
down
just
after...
make it more difficult. It doesn't mean he can't get away with it.
Right. Yes, he's a little more subtle. Like, they may let you go, but then track you down in the wilderness and try and beat you to death there. Or
just not take the deal.
Or not take the deal, or shiv you in an alley, or, poison your drinks, or something, yeah.
That's why we need someone with a really good fast talk or public speaking to...
have somebody who's
Which one of us is that?
I thought Finn was building up his public speaking and stuff.
Yeah, he can give a good speech, but he's not a fast talker.
Well, you can still give a good speech, work up the crowd. So if the guy doesn't take the deal, he's going to look like a coward.
Yeah, this group has the lowest social ability of any of the groups that we have.
Maybe you could weave a skill increase spell. I can't remember what it is. Increase skill.
Yeah, but again, you have to remember that stuff takes time for him, and it's very obvious.
Yeah, but you can pre-prep it.
I think we've got
which
multiple
increases
days.
the energy cost.
Does it increase the energy cost to dangerous I'm going to explode levels?
I don't know, maybe. I'm having to look.
Well, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
Nope.
Yeah, if you do that, you have to stand there and hold his hand while he does it. You have to accept the same risk.
That's not how it works. You're just making this up as you go along now.
All right. So, couple options for you are to, just wander in, kind of as a tag along. If you wanted to, it isn't unheard of. If it's not beyond the realm of possibilities to take out some slavers en route and just replace them.
They're not exactly checking IDs at the door,
Nope,
I think.
Nope. No one's checking IDs. No one knows for sure who's showing. I mean, there's some regulars that do show up. However, there's generally always a turnaround of new folk as well.
I won't be so pretentious as to call it a plan, but we had discussed the idea of setting the factions upon each other ostensibly by interfering with the fights and making it look like they were doing it. And the resulting confusion might provide an opportunity. But at this point, it looks like we're just kind of going in and seeing what opportunities present. Because we don't really know. We don't know where anybody's being held necessarily, and we don't know under what conditions or under what guard, or how we're going to get them out. With the exception of potentially being able to buy them. And then in that case, we don't know how much they're going to cost.
Did we get an approximate value of the gems that Brom picked up?
A value of plot.
I like those
Those are
sort of
pretty
gems.
Terrible. Terrible GM. Slacker GM.
Called out.
They're worth exactly 3.3 plots.
They're good enough to buy about 3 decent fighters. Possibly even, or some number of slaves.
Okay, we can get 3 men. We're gonna have to buy just the man part of Zistral.
And that also means we can't buy Landfan at all.
Well, I mean, if we have enough to buy the man half of Zistral, can't we buy the whole Lonthon?
No, he said that's good for 3 men.
I like
Zistral
fruit!
upgrade-
I like fruit! I like fruit!
Zistral upgrades to a 4-wheel. Zistral upgrades to a 4-wheel wheelchair, just so he feels better about himself. 4 wheels instead too. Well, I guess a wheelchair does have 4 wheels, but like a long cart-like wheelchair.
Wow, that took a long time to come through. Alright, so given that Brum was the one that picked up the gems, he will offer, somewhat reluctantly, but it's his friends that we're talking about, so he will offer the gems as a possible bargaining tool.
Okay. A discount. Yeah, that would be problematic. She kind of fits in two niche markets.
Yeah, getting in is going to be okay, but then we're going to have to sort of basically evaluate and try to figure out our next step once we're in there.
Yeah, we're not going to get around that. We're going to have to go in and see what it's like before we can really make a decision.
And hey, if we can accidentally cause a really big riot where everybody starts fighting everybody else, then more power to us. I wonder how hard it would be to create poison magically.
Pretty easy to create fire.
Oh, that's interesting. There's apparently a spell in magic called poison food. Which is sort of disturbing in and of itself.
We would have to make sure that if we're going to do this, that it works perfectly, because if it backfires and everyone knows that we tried to, rig this riot, we could have everyone versus us.
It is a possibility and a risk for sure.
Yeah, we got to get in, get a lay of the land before we can fully decide. Knowing our luck, the centaurs that were pursuing us in that cutscene will show up and cause a big mess.
Damn, should have put that on the list.
Oh yeah, there was a list.
Leroy Jenkins, let's go.
Who was it that posted on the Facebook? The Leroy Jenkins.
Oh,
and then his parties had tied him up and
gagged him.
Yeah, I laughed out loud with that one.
Leroy Burns.
So how long is it until the stuff the mess starts happening? You said a couple days or something like that.
In about 2 days' time from your vantage point.
Okay, so Finn is probably going to have to use the communication or the message spell to at least reach out to Thorn to let him know that we're planning something.
Yeah.
All right. So
I was also going to say that if there's going to be a couple of days downtime there, then Islam is going to scout, see if he can identify where anybody's being held. Of course, that's assuming that's even feasible because he's been there for weeks and hasn't been able to do that.
Well, he knows.
Yeah, but that's because he's an NPC area during that time.
He knows that the general area is that if you say top is north, that southwestern sector is where most of the slaves are. I've even placed the PCs in various cells, by the way. Which, Zistral, you will awaken eventually.
Those are some big cells.
Well, they're not alone. Like, there's probably like 3 other people in with Thorn and 1 other woman with Lon Fawn. And Zistral's all alone.
So Rory.
So playing the harmonica.
Rory.
Actually, you're probably in a different cell.
Playing Jailhouse Blues.
That cell is that north cell is basically where they kind of take you, allow you to pick your weapons, and kind of move out. With that in mind, for Zistral, one of the things you noted is you don't have your spear. However, you have a feeling that it's not far away.
Ah, okay.
Zistral
kind of have a sense of it.
Instead of whacking a tin cup on the bars, he's whacking a hoof.
Except one of the Zistrals is an imposter. There's 2 in the combat tracker.
Oh, is there 2?
Doppelgangers! Awesome! That's going to be a neat fight.
That's
Now there's-
interesting. It's two people's turn.
I noticed that.
There. That's weird.
Oh,
Well, I went to see if it would actually move both down as a turn marker. It didn't. All right. So to set you guys up, what say we? How do you guys feel about doing things as a kind of a skill challenge to position yourselves in a? Well, actually, all right. So after about 2 days of watching, you start to see various caravan traffic moving into Kelmarain, mostly coming in from that trade route side of the map, kind of following up and giving the mosque a rather wide berth. You'd almost think that word gets around that the mosque is supposedly haunted, infested, etc.
It is haunted and infested.
It's with BCs.
Just with
They're-
PCs.
And they're terrible to try and get out. Fumigation typically doesn't work. The only way to truly get rid of PCs is give them something, more interesting to, or a more interesting layer.
Give them little shiny bits.
you
Yep.
send them a quest maker and tell them to go dig up this treasure over there.
Wear a big exclamation point over your head.
Exactly.
About the third and fourth, the first that second day, it's only like one or two small caravans. By the fourth day, you catch wind of a few larger ones. Aslam, you've been going into Kelmarain to kind of scout, I assume?
Yep. Yes.
Where that green circle is where like some of those buildings there, we'll say, are kind of slave pens, and or where they set up the trade areas. And through various rumors, you hear that in another 4 days' time, the battles will begin, and they expect, the whole trading and everything to start. A few slavers have kind of done the looking over some of the various other slaves that have become available. Okay.
Side note, Aslam is going to gather up some weapons that he can discreetly hide on his person if necessary, to hand out to the other Fail.
All right. Okay. So the other Fail, are in that. If you look at the battle market, you should put a couple of them there.
They're in the one that
Not
Thorn's
labeled
in.
4. Oh yeah, sure. We'll call it that. There are 2 remaining Fail.
So Thorn will probably have been able to relay that back through the message.
I'm not sure. Let me see.
Or wait, was that
D&D message lets you
Right,
respond,
that's what I'm
but
thinking
I
of.
don't know if I'm looking. Yeah, let's see. Regular message doesn't let you do that. Wonder if there's a way to do that though. Converse.
All right, so on that evening of one of those days, you catch a small group of slavers looking like they kind of stopped for the evening, like they've been delayed and they're forced to kind of, they don't want to come in late at night.
A couple of their horses go lame.
Or had gone lame or something.
So this is those of us that are in the mosque.
Correct. For those of you guys in the mosque who do catch, you see them kind of come in late in the evening. There's some, what looked like an argument, and they just kind of like, it's, you get the gist of it is it's way too late to keep pushing forward. We'll only tick off the guards coming in this late, but we'll just finish off and come in fresh in the morning, kind of thing.
Well, since Aslam has proven that he's a really good scout for that sort of stuff, might send him to check those guys out, because we don't want to hit people who aren't slavers.
Sorry. Kid aggro. So what you'll kind of catch wind of is they seem to be, in fact, slavers of some flavor or not.
How many are there?
It looks like 4, and they have a small cart of about 4 slaves.
Yeah, so it sounds like we'd probably need to hit those guys and go into town as those guys, but we have no slaves. We can let the slaves go. Or recruit them
Seems legit.
as appropriate.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I don't have. Oh, I do.
So it looks to me like the GURPS magic doesn't have a thing that works like message in D&D, where it's like you send the message and then you can respond to it. But I don't see why I couldn't just adjust that in RPM, because the message itself is not especially difficult with regards to the energy cost. Suppose I could change the control, the lesser control energy to a greater control.
Which
Trying to come up with how to
magic
do it
spell were you
two-way.
looking at?
Okay, I'm sorry, I got two people talking over one another. With regards to Brian's question, I was just looking at the message spell in GURPS Magic, and I don't know what you said, Mark.
Oh, I was just commenting. So you're looking for how to make it two-way?
Yes.
Is there a telepathy spell?
There is.
Yes, I guess there is. Yep, that's how you would do it, I bet. That's not that difficult either.
There is also a spell called communication.
Communication. Okay, yeah, that's got 33 energy. That's not impossible, but communicate audio visually for the designated duration. I suspect telepathy is more likely it, because otherwise they're going to potentially look at Thorn like, oh great, he's a crazy person. Although
Well, they might do that anyway.
ultimately it's not that important. I'm also going to have a chat with Arn in the in that time as well to try to find out what the hell is going on with him. He's starting to act all weird and crap.
No, everything's fine.
Dude, you're starting to remind me of Poltar.
Who, me? No.
No.
What are you?
No.
Who are you looking at right now?
Oh no, I was just off in thought. We're good.
Yeah, looking at communication, I don't see the advantage to that over telepathy. Right. So if Aslam has identified those fellows as bad guys,
Just
filthy
reverse the
slavers.
directions.
Oh, yeah, that just occurs to me. Aslam is potentially identified them, so we may never find out what happened to these poor fellows.
Well, there is that.
Come on, do it. You know you want to be all assassiny on them.
All right. So I have. So Assam can get about there, and kind of listen to their conversation. They're having some kind of argument over, what delayed them, who's at fault, and it just really, after a bit, Assam is just convinced that they're just incompetent
And evil.
and evil.
Because, I mean, come on, slavery. Well, actually, he's, I don't know, were the Fayil slaveholders?
No. Well,
Probably not opposed to it.
yeah, they're not opposed to it. For them, slavery is more of a.
They were slaves.
Yeah, they were slaves. I mean, they're aware of. They're more understanding of the, hey, I got this guy who can't pay for anything, so I'm going to have him work for me for a year and a day to pay his debt, and then released.
Yeah, well,
doesn't do good to treat them poorly, etc. They, however, were treated well. It's not chattel slavery, as in more indentured servitude.
No, he probably doesn't look at them as being particularly evil on their own. Unless
I don't know.
They just happen to be douches.
There's nothing more fanatic than a farmer. It's like, an ex-smoker.
Well, he doesn't have that as a trait at this point.
Ah, gotcha.
He does have intolerance for Nolkin, though. He does not care for them at all.
I hope none of those guys are gnolls.
It might smell like them, but that's about it.
Right. Well, in the interest of keeping the rest of the PCs involved,
you should just
I suppose
totally
Aslam would go
them.
back. Although, if we were not in this situation and we had unlimited amounts of time, I would just go ahead and deal with these guys on his own.
That is entirely up to you.
What are his disads and ads? I mean, does he have overconfidence?
Yes.
Okay, then
roll it.
That would be one of those. Why wouldn't he just take care of these dudes?
No, that from a purely roleplay standpoint, he would totally kill them all himself.
I say he should kill them all
The
himself.
only reason I would choose to not do that is to get the rest of the PCs involved, so we're not all sitting here with thumbs up our butts.
What are you
for the rest of
talking
the
about?
session.
You guys
Mark's
can always
gonna
play
let
them.
us run those guys.
You heard that, GM. He's playing out a character, penalising character points.
Analyzing character points. What? Big thumb
50
comes out
DKP
from
minus.
Big thumb comes out of the sky, squishes. To the amazement of the slavers and remaining PCs alike.
Ack. So I was like thinking, oh man, you know, it'd be really cool. It's just sort of hit him with a mass sleep or something like that. And then I saw what they, how that Project Grimoire built the mass sleep in using RPM, and that's 126 energy. I'm like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Well, we can play this if none of the other PCs are immediately involved. I have NPCs for you guys to play. So
We shall play NPCs because we don't want Daniel to lose points for poor role playing. We're playing out a character.
Ninja murder those guys.
Very well.
We'll let Arn or Ethan play Doug, and Ashlyn can play Bob, and Carrie can play Hugh, and oh right, we got a Louie. Brian can play him. Wait, why is he swinging?
oh, I'm messing. I've taken a roll and making them easier. I didn't
I'm
need to actually
assuming
click
this.
that.
I'm assuming this is actually a drop off here.
We'll call it. It's not a drop off. It's just a. I'll call it just a slight rise. We'll call the drop off. The drop off is in.
Right.
Like that.
So about a 2-yard.
Everything else
Well,
is just kind of like
no.
kind of comes up.
What else? Okay.
We'll call that where the green line is. That's a straight, 1 yard drop. Everything else is kind of a gradual rise. Ish.
The sum will proceed as indicated.
Okay,
You
give me.
need to put range modifiers on.
Oh yeah, I guess I do. Bang. Alright, let me pass out some of these. On fun, you get to be Bob.
Presume this
Trump,
counts as
you get to be Doug.
many natural hiding places.
You. Arn, and for sake of the fact that I don't have a second one, there happens to be another guy.
Another Aslam. What? Oh, that was Aslam moving his character. Never mind.
There can be only one.
There. Everyone got it? Somebody to goof around with?
No.
Okay. You messed this up now.
Oh, wait.
It should be Drew, Hugh, Lou, Stu.
We got Bob and Doug McKenzie, Huey, Dewey, Louie,
Boo?
Have you shared the NPC sheets?
I thought I had. Give me 1 second to make sure that they are in fact shared. I might have missed.
I see you move.
If you grab the link from the tracker and then just drag it onto the person that you want to control
Oh,
it.
the link?
Yeah.
Ah, that's better. That's better. I was messing up and apparently grabbing the token off the tracker and dragging it to people.
I want to know where in the Gin lands you managed to find slavers called Doug, Bob, Jew, Hugh, and Louis.
Canada land.
Canada.
They're coming from. They're not from here.
They're from this district called Canada. Canada province.
Canada, yeah, Canada prefecture.
Don't get us started on that thing. We'll end up facing the albino bog moose again.
That sounds like a fun bad guy.
It's crazy.
Shelly was running a game. It was like one of her first real runs in D&D, and she kept apologizing and having her NPCs apologize. So we determined, oh, we're in Canada, and that was. She ended up sending us after an albino bog moose.
All right, Assam. I'm gonna remove Thorndale from the tracker just to make this a little more smooth. All right.
Oh, I'm controlling Louis.
Yep.
Hold on.
Oh, that's right. I gotta make them all yellow, don't I?
Thought it was green. Thought they had to be
Yeah.
green.
Yellow.
At least yellow, I believe.
Nope. I think Dana's right. I think they have to be green.
No, I can move.
All right, I'll leave them with green. For anyone watching, these guys are way too strong.
Wow.
You have snapped grid on.
Louis really needs to shave. He's got fur.
Quiet, you.
No, he's wearing fur
He's wearing furs.
in the desert.
It's cold at night.
Actually, that's true. It is cold at night.
He just has never taken it off that it's sort of grown to him.
Yeah, you are supposed to wash it. At least
Right.
occasionally.
So, Aslam goes first.
All right.
Poor old Louis is crouching.
Is he as previously indicated?
Absolutely.
kinda-
So Islam will approach him at a creep.
As a creep or at a creep?
At a creep. One at a time. Not I'm not moving that fast. Are we in combat turns or we're just using the tracker?
Well, you tell me when we're in combat. He has no clue you're there.
Okay, well,
Damn,
Then,
he needs to shave and clip his toenails because he's got claws.
Hey, I
So,
realized I was one short.
Louis there doing his business. He's about to wrap up, and he's looking for something to wipe with, and Islam hands him a rag. Says, "Oh, thank you," and then he slashes his throat.
I appreciated the rag, less so the knife. And everybody else will laugh at the sound of someone falling and presume he slipped in the dark.
He'll just leave him sitting there.
Hurricane?
Eh?
Are you gonna?
You want to roll for that?
I'm assuming this is telegraphed all out to the neck.
I think
Or at least
actually I'll
telegraphed.
just
He's not gonna
I'll
defend.
just well, yeah. I'll just do the telegraphed all out determined to the artery, just to be sure.
Good lord.
I just want to see damage. Ew. Gross, man.
Yeah, I'll make a mess of it.
That's to the neck, so that's what?
12.
2?
2.5.
Yep, 2.5 because it's the artery. We have a hearing-based perception check from the 4 other guys at some major penalties. Just roll the dice. I wouldn't. Yeah. I'm assuming that unless they just happen to critically succeed, they won't hear the gurgling choke of Louis as he dies. You know.
Don't know he died.
Well, that's what I'm saying is.
Actually, is he at like super penalties for that with the I don't, because I don't know how the artery does.
Artery does.
So that's 2.5.
Oh, right.
That's
No, I don't think there's an extra effect other than the bleeding.
Oh wow, that just put him into the is it -2?
Yeah, but he's nuke level bad guy, so gurgle, you know, bubble of blood and wind is, you know, he kind of stares up with, you know, a rag in one hand and fear and shock and the look in his eyes and a hint of embarrassment.
More than a hint, it was only halfway out.
And brief confusion about which end to mop up first.
Give me a will he fall over or which way does he fall?
No, I'm gonna hold him. I'm gonna hold him up and leave him sitting like he was.
Kind of like, oh. All right. What is your next murdery target?
Let me see here. I'm gonna want to. I don't necessarily want to sneak up behind the horses. I can't see what's on the other side of the wadi here.
Assume it's like a cliff face. Sure.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay. Ah, I know. I will get some distance. Let's see, we'll go over here. How about? And as I am traversing, I will say, "Hey, somebody give me a hand."
All right. Everyone, give me an
In what
intelligence
language?
roll. It would be in Third Native.
I'm thinking it's going to be Arabic.
Person who fails the worst believes it.
Flavor Hugh.
Yep.
Everyone kind of laughs at, laughs. So like, guess you're, and he was like, fine, I'll go.
All right, so I go give him a hand,
Or Hugh.
and I think
Oh
it's
no, just yeah.
Louis. I think it's Louis, right?
You are. Let's see. You got Hugh. I think you're Dewey. Or Drew.
You shared Drew with me, yeah. All right, so
Drew.
turning my back on the fire ruins my night vision, so I'll head towards where I think Louis is in order to give him a hand. How far are you going to let me get?
Basically, what's going to happen is about the time you get close enough, he gets close enough to be able to actually see what the hell is going on. Which,
Well, I'd probably
in deep
trip over
shadow
him.
and everything, you may trip over him.
Yeah, because I was looking at the fire literally a couple of seconds ago, so I'll probably trip over him when I get to him.
Well, I'm going to creep up to intercept as he basically gets there. So by the time he's able to recognize what's gone wrong here, he's going to have a knife in his back.
Right. So I'll need a perception check from Drew.
Looking for a critical success.
You'll also need a stealth -5 since you moved more than one.
Well, that depends on how fast I was moving. I'm assuming that Drew was not running over there to help.
Nope, just walking.
Yeah.
Strolling.
Versus perception with the massive vision penalty.
What's up, Candy?
Yeah, that's going to make it by 0, minus all the penalties, and then minus all the penalties. So
Right.
You probably won't see him, but you will hear him.
Well, his stealth was by success by 4.
and I had failure by some amount.
Well, hearing wise, you would have succeeded. However, his stealth was higher than yours. His margin of success was greater than
It was
your
0.
margin. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this particular case, he's going to do one hand over the mouth and one knife in the kidney. So vitals.
Sticking him in the vitals.
Ow, my vitals.
I don't know. Can we
think they
keep
have-
this guy?
I think they have DR3 chain.
Oh, do they? Shit.
Is he really going to be wearing chain if they're like crashing for the night?
It's just a shirt.
Okay.
I don't
Since this is a grapple and then stab, I can call that the grab and smash and get the strong out of it. So +2 that. And that's
3 times 3 is 9. That's
9.
That's a major wound at health -5, right?
Yes. And he goes unconscious.
Ow, my kidney.
Herc.
All right.
Tricky, tricky.
Should just
I
walk
think-
over there and join him, and then start killing him.
Well, I'd rather they never know I was here. I think I need to circle around, so
Are you moving at 1 yard increments?
yes, very slowly.
Okay, so we're looking at about 15 seconds. So after that's probably long enough for somebody to kind of go, hey, it went
Well,
super
they doing?
duper quiet over there.
Well, those two are awfully friendly.
But it's like dead quiet.
Drew, Louis, what's going on back there?
Crickets. Crickets.
That's okay, fellas. They're just playing cricket.
Oh my god.
I don't think that's how that
Potatoes!
game works.
Alright, at some point you're going to end up walking into the light cast off by that, fire, even if it's at the...
Well, I will be approaching from whatever shadow is available, so at the very least, the slavers themselves will be casting some shadows away from the fire.
What, about 5
Oh.
yard? At the edge? That's, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't have the map scrolled all the way up.
Drew, Louis,
I have an
Doug
idea.
is going to grab his sword and stand.
And then he's going to stab Bob because he never liked Bob.
Bob always cheats at cards. Alright. So, your movement will coincide with Assam's movement. I'm assuming. There's no breeze to bring the smell of blood to the poor mules' noses.
Hey, you too.
Oh god, the Pugwappy's got them!
I knew we shouldn't have parked here. It's way too close. Said this place was cursed.
Is this map accurate? So, it's pretty much open ground.
That's kind of a trail. They're parked off the side of it.
So, Aslam doesn't actually have stuff to hide behind. So we would get the +10 in plain sight bonus.
Not necessarily. Now there is a bit of a depression there, so there's some stuff, and there's the rocks and shit. There's shrubs.
And you got at least minus
And I'm
2
perfectly
darkness
willing
pen.
to throw a camouflage in there too.
It's a bright moonlit night. It's only a -2 darkness penalty.
Wow.
Or is that normally -3?
I think -3 is full.
Or
moon.
moon? I'm sorry, full moon. It's a full moon. Full moon lit night. No clouds in the sky. Well, it is a desert, I guess.
With firelight, you can probably say that would be -2 then.
Full moon is -4. If you look at the modifiers, you actually have that. -2 is twilight, street lights, and something else.
So -4. I guess that really depends on when Sam decided to go check them out. He waited for moonlight or deep twilight.
But while Aslam is moving along the arrows that he's drawn, he's going to be in plain sight there, right?
Pretty much. Especially across the road part. It is a paved or trampled path, or a well-worn path.
To be fair, I can't actually draw arrows out to cover.
Oh, you mean like up and around? Well, give me a camouflage roll. He has.
I'm
he has a
limited
cloak
by
too.
the map here.
Does crouching give you any kind of bonuses?
Maybe.
Well, they would have to kind of be able to look up, and right now most of the attention is on what's going on down near where Drew and Louie went. So I'd allow the perception checks to occur as is, and you said, is there a bonus to them being in plain sight, you said?
There's +10 bonus when something's in plain sight.
So +10 -4 is a +6. I'll allow it. I mean, he's got a success by 8, so you still have to beat his margin of success. Or do that.
Of course. Here we go again.
You see a
Not even in
shape
his line of sight. By the time he's there, I'm in his side hex.
That's still a C.
A lumpy shadow kind of may have moved
Hey,
over there.
Hey, and this is a quick contest. The margin crit doesn't count.
Right, it's not a crit, but his success is by what? 10? Yours was by 8?
Yeah, he only made it by 2.
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
even.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true.
That's not even full recognition.
He still sees something. Doesn't need to recognize it. And he'll alert his friends. Over there, I can see something.
It's probably a wild animal.
I am a rock.
Doug just see something? Or is he seeing things? Haha.
What are his friends doing?
Sounds like they're ignoring you. Apparently, you cheat at cards too.
I'll stand up easily and just be like, okay, where and what?
Over there.
See.
I saw some movement. Get off your asses. Actually, whoops.
I'm off my arses. I said I stood up.
Drew and Louis are not answering, and I saw some movement over there.
Well, you know how close those two were.
Wow. Well, we're giving these guys a backstory.
Now it's canon. Congratulations, Aslam. You just murdered the first two gay slavers we've met.
How do you know?
What's what camouflage?
He's got the cloak that kind of makes him blend in with his immediate surroundings, so he probably kind of looks like a rock.
Good lord, is someone murdering your kids?
So at what point does that margin critical become a success?
Well, it is just a quick contest. So
With his camouflage, so he succeeds by 5.
success by 5 for the camouflage, and his stealth was a success by 8.
Stealth's only when you're moving.
Right. So I guess a jig up. At some point, you'll probably recognize it as a body or something
He's gonna
drops there.
throw dirt in
Well,
Doug's eyes.
that's actually not necessarily true, because camouflage can be pretty damned effective, especially in the dark, even under moonlight. Actually, it could be worse under moonlight.
That's why you get all your bonuses.
What probably gets Doug's attention is it's a rock on the middle of the path.
Yeah, that sort of makes sense.
And that's probably what has Doug kind of scratching his head. It's like, wait, I'm pretty certain it wasn't there before.
I'd just give him a second one.
Sure.
Maybe give him the +4 for improving contact or whatever.
Yeah, go with that.
Since he's pretty sure he saw it move.
Alright, he says, "Alarm!" And he'll take a combat stance.
And ready.
Well,
Right.
if he turns his head to say something, that's on.
He's not turning his head, he's looking at you and just yelling out, "Alarm!"
Okay, if he looks like he's going to say something.
It looks like he's gonna say something. He's like, he has that kind of like creeps up with that quizzical look, probably, and then his eyes kind of do the wide, and you can see him take the breath to shout out "Alarm!" And what are you gonna do?
Stab him.
Stabby. All right, so triggers the weight, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Are you prone being a rock, or are you standing up being a rock?
No, crouched.
A weird rock.
Well,
Oh, I know. It was a rock.
rocks are
That's
all shapes and sizes. Don't be rockish.
If you chip my rock, do I not? Or if you cut my rock, do I not chip?
Let's see here. Really think about that ahead of time. Well, I guess it's on, so let's just take what we can get. Alright, yeah, we'll just go random.
Right?
Retreating dodge. Advance the tracker.
Gotcha. Forgot that you can't hit that.
Hold up, if I was standing and kind of looking in his direction, would I have
But you
noticed
heard
the
him.
scuffle? Oh, I heard him.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he alarm! Somebody's out here.
All right.
And then
well,
someone stood up and attacked. Doug just moves back.
Can I prepare myself? I mean, I saw that my turn got turned.
Oh, were you Bob?
Yeah, I'm Bob.
You're Bob.
Hello.
No Bob.
I'm probably just gonna ready my weapon and advance like 2 hexes. Ta-da. I'm pressing the button to turn my turn, but it's not working.
Not working. Doug moved back. You died. You. Somebody just jumped out of that rock. Just straight up tried to skewer Doug.
Well, I guess gonna have to get up.
But rocks don't like Doug.
I don't like Doug either.
Yep, getting up is my turn.
So setting them to friendly lets you pick up the token, but it doesn't let you move the tracker.
Right, it's Louis' turn. Louis dies. Bleeds a little bit more. That's right, Islam. You need to hit escape and reload this at your last save point.
Alas. But since Doug there decided to back off, I'm gonna run away.
Run away! All right. Give me an intelligence check for Bob, Doug, and you.
Hey, he was smart. Oh, okay, Doug's smarter.
I'm dumb.
Bob's like, hey, I want to go give that guy a chase. He was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Doug's like, heck no.
Doug will take a few steps to lay chase, but holy crap, Doug's fast.
Yeah. It should actually be a move of 5, I believe. Or, yeah. These guys, yeah.
All right, so he'll take a few steps. You'll see the guy running away. He'll just keep watching till he cannot see the guy run away any further.
All right.
At which point he will then go and check on his buddies.
Murdered. And they're murdered.
Then he'll drop to his knees and shout, "No!" That was short.
This was her last run. Her retire. All right,
Anywho,
so
Islam will circle back and reapproach. Hopefully catch somebody out of position.
all right. After a bit, they will lose sight of you, unless as any of the other guys giving chase.
I guess.
Nope.
Well, they might go over there
It's a
to
trap.
help with the dead guys.
Yeah,
You
he's
guys
not
do
my friend.
hear. You hear Doug. It's like, no, they're dead. Murdered.
That's 2 more shares for the rest of you.
Exactly.
You say that, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, I messed up.
They can also see Doug. Doug's not like in complete darkness. -4 plus 10. That's still +6 on perception.
Unless you're dead. And then you're like, you got like a -10. At least.
A minus, you fail. Add the you failed modifier.
Alright, so Doug will hang around there and he'll see that his buddies are dead.
Friends.
He'll go back
Dead.
and he'll say, Drew and Louis, they're both dead.
Oh no, whatever shall
Dramatic
we do?
gasp.
We should be alarmed for about 10 seconds and then go back to sitting in the fire.
Yeah, seems legitimate
True.
to me.
Oh crap, we're NPCs! Damn it!
Are we the NPCs? I mean, Drew and Louie are just laying there dead, and we went back to our routine. Does that make us NPCs?
Do you guys ever watch the YouTube channel Epic NPC Man?
Never heard of it.
No, but I am interested now.
Look it up. It's basically parodying all the stupid stuff that happens in games. Epic NPC Man.
Oh, I have seen some of them.
Add it to your watch list because they are awesome.
I'm definitely
Alright.
going to come up with a... Alright, what's up?
Well, if they reassume their positions around the fire, that doesn't give me a whole lot to work with. So I will.
How about
take...
this? How about this? I'm gonna go take a piss. My character.
Eventually,
He's gonna
Doug
walk
has
away.
to go pee.
I'm Bob.
Oh, eventually Bob feels an urge.
And goes to pee in exactly the same place that his buddies got killed. The bodies are still there.
Drew or Louis, so he's gonna pee on them.
You're not
Bastards
sure if
owed you money.
You're not sure if Bob just really doesn't like him, or the programmer just didn't have a good AI path, or give them good AI. We're programmed as
What would they realistically do? They'd probably like try to ensure that they don't get swarmed again. So it's entirely possible they're going to try to stay up all night, like back to back on one another.
potentially, or
And depending on how hard they push themselves, it's entirely possible one or multiple of them may end up dozing off. I will remember pulling guard duty at dark 30 after a long road march.
Well, how about we give them all 3 health checks at a minus. What's a good fatigued? I'm super fatigued. I've been pushing myself for the last 2 days to try and make it on time. I mean, they had stopped because they were.
Wait,
when
no.
they come in fresh. So
no, hold on. There's a thing. Hold on. One second. Staying up late. Okay, if you've lost half or more, blah, 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 you must make a will roll every 2 hours you spend inactive, e.g. standing watch. On a failure, you fall asleep.
Yeah, I can think of several instances when I was in the Army where I critically failed that. Oh, no, Doug.
On a success, you have -2 to Dex, IQ, and self-control rolls.
That actually makes sense for Doug because he went up there and his adrenaline spiked, and after he retreated, nothing happened. It crashed.
Yep. All right, so Doug falls out. Give me one for Hugh and Bob. So within the first 2 hours of their alert watch, Hugh and Doug, they all just kind of like.
Well, that makes it easier.
Well, realistically, that's not going to happen. Because as soon as someone sees Bob or Doug doze off, then they'll kick him awake.
If we're back to back, we won't see each other.
Bob, you awake? Yeah, I'm on. Doug, you awake? Yeah, I'm on. You get grunts, and then the grunts, you get words, turns to grunts, turns to them realizing that the person asking is no longer asking.
Leads to a whole lot of not caring.
Suddenly Doug has a funny Arabic accent when he asks, "Hey, you awake?"
But because we're NPCs, we can probably just doze off.
Eventually they try, as they might. But eventually they fail and fall into a slumber, never to awaken again. Or...
Yeah, I was going to say, I seem to recall a particular FTX at the end of Basic where the two of us in a foxhole ended up both asleep and missing a friggin' gas attack.
Yeah, that happened to me during my Basic as well, except I was sleeping in the sleeping bag and I rolled over, and I guess I just didn't know it happened. Good times.
Yeah, falling asleep without knowing you're falling asleep. That happens. Ask anyone who's not, made it there.
Anywho, assuming if they all fall asleep at the same time or generally close enough, then that'll be that. Otherwise, they're probably going to be at -2 to IQ anyway.
Yeah, definitely -2.
So Yeah, we'll pick him off.
I hope he's not going to murder the slaves.
He will not. He will release
Why would
them.
he do that?
I'm just saying. I said I hoped he didn't.
All right. So how's this going to end up resolving itself?
Well,
Narrate.
he
for
was
us.
going to circle back around, and he was going to take his time doing it. So by the time he gets to this area over here, which was going to be his next approach, they'll
I
be
think
so they're all back to back or whatever.
I think Islam should have to make a will roll to stay awake.
Islam's moving. He's doing stuff.
That's true. If you are constantly on the move and stuff, it is a whole lot easier.
So
That is-
how constantly on the move is he? Going to be constantly on the move?
Constantly enough. Plus, he probably slept during the day because he's going scouting at night.
Yep, that's true. He's been over the last few days. He's been scouting into this at night.
I think you should make a roll because it'd be all funny if we all wake up at the same time and he's asleep at the cart there.
I just want to see the roll. I'm not going to act on it. I just want to see it because this is the moment that you would roll a critic fail.
No, he's going to like roll a 3. He's like, I'm fine.
I just wanted to see if the dice really hated you. I
No,
wouldn't
Not
act
just
on
yet.
they
it.
hate Zistral.
Oh, that
Actually,
was
I'm
last
not
time.
sure if it's Zistral or so much as it's the house, because oh my god, they hated Melissa, and now that she's not with us, they hate Zistral.
In the Friday night D&D game that she runs, she rolled 5 dice, 4 1s and a 20.
Man,
Wow.
fucking extremes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
we
me.
had
I'm
one
like,
of our
all right,
guys-
I'm done for a while, guys. See you later. Peace out.
We had
Well, she's the GM, so it was good for us.
Yeah, that's even better. Oh well,
We-
if the GM's rolling ones, that's always funny.
we had one of our guys roll 7 crit fails in a night. Anyway, he's gonna approach between the two there, and whichever one is the most exposed / inattentive will get the throat slash first, followed immediately by the second. And assuming that doesn't rouse the last one.
Well, they have combat reflexes, so I guess they get perception checks to wake up, kind of thing.
Right, that was a thing. But that would be versus stealth, would it not?
I would think so. So he's not going to see you. He's going to probably hear a twig snap, a pebble move, or something. But all
Or
three
his
of them are going to get
buddy
that.
jerk. Like, what's
Which
that
could
gurgle noise?
I need one from Hugh and Bob as well. Doug.
So I think Hugh is the one that dies first.
So Doug will be something snaps between as or
I'm
a
telling you,
pebble kind of.
it's when he cut Hugh's throat. Hugh jerked.
Yep, it was a spasm or something.
Actually, I think if Doug's starting to stir, then I'll probably hit him first.
That's
Stir
true.
probably-
He was the one that was being proactive.
So then it
He
would
kind of
probably
annoyed
have been
me anyway.
So it's probably like a pebble that got kicked or something as Islam was approaching, which stirred Doug.
Based on where he's at, the horse's wicker.
Ah, yes. Be right about there. Be about halfway.
Gotta drag this out.
Dude, I got a headache.
Clearly, the
Killing
GM's like, I don't have enough for tonight, so I need to drag this out as much as possible.
Don't know what you're talking about, people.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna have to all-out double and do the mouth throat slash thing.
So they are seated, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's probably close enough.
Alright, so Doug will come out of sleep, but he's going to be kind of in a bad, tight spot.
Who?
Darn it. I need a... Oh, I don't have my speakers where I can put my mic to give the that sound effect again.
Which one?
The one that he shared.
Okay, so we've got crap, this doesn't work. Hold on.
Alright, so how this playing out? So Doug will be awakened upon, as you get about halfway on the approach. It'll
Actually, that should have been head or mouth. Mouth.
That's an interesting question. Alright. I will need a new perception check from Bob and Hugh for sure. Doug wouldn't get any kind of a...
Well, that's up to you. I think. Actually, what does it say about that?
No, he's going to be at minuses for being seated, I'm guessing.
Yeah. The question is, can he act at all?
Isn't he asleep?
No, because you made your... because you have combat reflexes. Which we've allowed in the past to...
Man,
All right.
they're pretty badass.
If it's combat reflexes, then he's not surprised and he can act normally. So he'll be seated, so he'll be -3.
However, the fatigue was what, -2 on IQ? Was it just IQ?
I don't think that counts after they fall asleep.
Okay.
Yeah. Because normally, if you just woke up, you'd be mentally stunned. But I know combat reflexes prevents some parts of that.
Well, that's different. I would probably treat it like the sleep spell. So whenever you wake somebody up, whatever happened after that, I don't remember exactly the details.
You wake up fully alert, I believe.
No, when you wake up, you're like mentally stunned for 1 round or something.
That's true because Daniel knows because he
I had to do that.
Zatted with it.
Doesn't matter. 2 damage.
On the other hand, he could just fail.
So the grapple will 6. Oh, wait a sec.
I got them both.
You never freeze. You never freeze in a surprise situation, and you get a +6 on all IQ rolls to wake up or recover from surprise or mental stun. But I don't know what that means against.
Right, do your damage.
Did I actually? Oh yeah, I did roll that. Okay, never mind. Crap. Stuff. And grappled again. Well, that could have been better. But it's time to see.
Also roll again on the neck.
I did that.
I see that.
So does that put him at 0?
12 points.
12 points is 1 less.
At 1 hit point.
1 hit point.
Because they have insane amounts of hit points.
He shakes off the major wound.
Oh, by the way, he couldn't retreat.
Makes no difference.
Well, it does a little. Okay, so I've still got him grappled by the head. Or by the mouth, specifically.
Alright, so that will trigger a IQ check for Hugh and Bob. Then.
At +6.
Modifiers.
+6 actually.
Does it? Is it? Was that right?
You never freeze, and in a surprise, and get a +6 on all IQ rolls to wake up or recover from surprise or mental stun.
Oh, it specifically said wake up. Okay, never mind.
Huh? They get the they will just wake up. So Doug, is he taking? Just do it this way, Bob.
Yes.
What you doing? Something just startled you awake.
Sit up and look around.
Hey.
All right, so.
Do I notice?
I'm awake.
There's somebody molesting. There's someone molesting poor Doug. And it doesn't look like you.
Can I jump up and have my sword ready?
You can stand, yes.
I'm standing.
Well, I guess that would be a stand-in ready, yeah. Because you guys probably fell asleep with your weapons nearby.
Oh, she's sitting. She's going to have to go from sitting to basically... How do you do that? Crouching?
It goes... I think sitting goes to kneeling and then standing.
What armor does Aslam wear?
His body and arms is 3.
No, it's 4.
Oh, Assam. Oh, 4. I'm sorry, I was thinking, what did the slavers wear?
I've got the desert ninja stuff.
Yeah, Assam's got the desert ninja.
Alright. Doug, having been surprised, he is going to fall down onto his back and telegraph kick to the groin with extra effort.
He cannot.
Why can't he?
His head is grappled.
I thought you only covered his mouth.
That's still
But
considered.
forceful.
He's just,
In that case, he will punch to the groin.
hey, what's the
Actually, no.
capital of Thailand?
If Aslam is grappling his head, then he could punch to the face.
That would be easier, probably.
So he will do that. A punch to the face.
All out, telegraphed, etc., etc.
No, not all out.
Shock penalty.
You got shock, you got grappled, you got...
He will be doing
Behind.
just he can't be behind.
Yeah,
We had our backs to the fire.
I turned you. You had your back to the fire. I got behind you and I grabbed you and slashed your neck.
You're not going to be right next to the fire.
It is in close, so he could easily have just kind of slipped in.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't have fallen asleep if you were right next to the fire.
Then if your back is, he can't attack at all.
You can
Well,
try
I
to
think you
break
still
free.
can.
What if you just pushed him back into the fire? Because if the fire is to your back,
So if you're at his back, there's nothing you can do except.
Well, he is there. You know where he is, so
You still
can
can't attack to a
him
rear
back, but
hex.
you got-
oh, you can. It's just at some negative.
It's just
like,
a -2.
You
Yeah,
can't. You can
that's
only
where
attack to
elbow
a side,
elbow
unless you
attack
have like a special attack to the rear.
elbow attack is one way of getting around that.
I don't think an elbow would make sense there.
Yeah, into the solar plexus, potentially.
Okay, well, I
guess
maybe.
you could-
Then
I may
he
be
will
thinking
back.
of
He will
the,
back
run
kick to
around.
the groin.
That
Then
makes more sense.
what's the back kick penalty?
Yeah, but you're seated.
What if you just pushed off and hoped to push Aslam into the fire? Kind of like lifting him up. Using...
All right. Then that's what he'll do. He will just kick back to push Aslam in the fire. Strength roll.
How the hell does that work? That's probably good enough.
Penalty.
You can suck it and burn, Aslam. Ha ha!
So, question: is that not going to be affected by seated -2 and shock
Doesn't matter,
penalty
natural fall.
-4?
It's
It doesn't
true.
matter. Yeah, it's still an opposed roll, though, right?
Well, it would be like any. So
It doesn't matter when Daniel rolls like shite.
I would agree that you would get all the effects, but that's still a crit success. I mean, it was a Hail Mary pass, basically. So, okay, how would that work? You just got pushed. Now, you maintain
Yeah,
the
I don't
grapple.
know.
You're maintaining the grapple. It's just you're both bodily moving into...
Yeah, well, if he's moving me
fire.
back, he's moving him back too.
That's true.
But he's
I would
using you
agree.
as the fire shield.
Yeah, he's just laying on you to not get immediately burned.
That'll be Doug's turn.
Two bodies just dove
Just
into the
had
fire.
to drag this out.
We didn't have to. You could have coup de grace us all. We were all asleep.
I tried to.
He tried to, and then Mark went, no, make this roll, make that roll. Yeah, we're seeing through this there, Mark. I didn't know hand catch parry existed.
Right, so what's he was kind of doing the same, going to a kneel and grabbing his weapon.
Yes.
All right. So what would falling into, was that 1d6 burn potentially?
I think it's a D6 minus 1.
D6 minus 1.
Yeah, I don't remember. Dude,
I don't know how.
that's odd.
That is really weird. How in the world? Ah, stuff here.
Did you have modifiers set up when you rolled the D6?
You're gonna have. So he's not throwing you off your feet. So I guess I'd give you any like pants and leg DR to whatever. One D3. Okay, so that would be.
This is probably going to happen on my turn.
Right. Okay. Well, it's your turn.
Well, there you go. So, my intention is to spend only part of my turn in the fire.
Yep. So
or more specifically,
3.
I'm going to leave him in the fire.
Just let go.
Yeah, basically. Now that was kind of what I wanted to do with that, since he was going to push off like that, and he apparently caught me off balance. I'm just going to let go of him.
Sounds good.
And
so
probably take a swing at Bob there while I'm on the way out.
all right. So what's your boot DR?
Boot DR? Oh,
Probably
2.
probably 2.
2. So you'll take 1 burn damage as you walk through the fire, and Doug will take 2. Well, he's probably
Puts
got
him at -1.
because he's probably coming on his butt straight.
Well, technically that would happen next turn. On Doug's turn. But
Which would be
Doug will go down.
what? Yeah, kind of
Burning
thrashing
nuke.
and
Well, he'll probably try to get out of the fire, in which case he'll take the -3, and then he'll take the 1 point, and down he goes.
All right.
Except his DR protects.
I was gonna take
True.
take a swing at Bob there. Yeah, I'll just take random. He's still kneeling, so that's -2. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, close enough. Yeah, that's it. And that is a side hex.
On
If
Bob.
he wants to try to get out. Yeah, Bob.
Yep. Bob, you need to make a defensive roll at a -2.
Bob is at -2, -4
-4
total, and Bob cannot retreat.
You started in Bob's rear hex.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Bob can't defend that.
-4
but I'm not
dodge.
in his rear hex.
Yeah, you'll be at -4 total. Or you'll do that.
Or it can do that.
See, Brian stole all of the critical successes. Wait, why is that?
Oh,
Oh. So what does the critical fail mean? That she has
Fail.
to roll the
Fell
crit miss?
down on a dodge.
Ah.
She
Oh,
fell down.
yeah, that's a dodge.
Why
she
is
falls.
that? Oh, okay, it's by 10. I thought it was just 17 or.
Well, there's
18
your
that
crit
was a
for the night.
fail.
But that's Aslam's crit success on the location roll.
So that's 2 points through the skull.
Times 4.
Times 4 is 8. Major wound to the brain.
Major wound to Bob.
Is that health minus
Health
10?
at minus 5. Yes.
Thought to the brain was minus 10.
Yep, I think you're right. So, Bob, you just took a blow to the back of the head with a knife. Bob?
Good old Bob.
Do I need to do something?
Yep. Roll a health roll minus 10.
Okay. Where's
If you're hearing what the color brown smells like.
Taking it.
Okay.
And out you go. He's on.
Saying something unintelligible on the way down.
Sorry,
I
Bob.
like monkeys.
Doug,
Orange tastes like
I need a
pie.
dex check, or you're going to be putting your hands into the fire to try and get your scramble out.
Yep. Jim is totally trying to
No, because
extend this as much as possible. We see
Isn't-
how it is.
Isn't Doug dead?
no, Doug's not dead. Doug, this is the round that Doug might take damage, depending on how he gets out of this fire. 'Cause his armor might protect,
Or he might bleed out.
or he might burn his hands to into a state of shock.
Oh, well, I thought Doug was dead.
Hey, Doug, are you dead?
Doug will
And now I
roll
need
out
to
of the
post
fire.
That Captain America gif. I understood that reference.
He will roll out of the fire.
He will
All
go
right.
to actually stand up.
But doesn't he have to? Didn't Jim said you need to make a dex check?
Then instead he'll make a dex check.
No, not you.
No.
Oh.
Doug.
Not you, Doug.
Yes, I totally
Okay.
intended on that.
Doug kind of does the hands in the fire. Ow, 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 ah, my hands! The pain's too much.
So does that means Hugh is the only one that is still conscious?
Give me a health check for Doug, but for now, Hugh is still conscious.
He's a mook. There
oh,
it is.
Nope, he's
Damn.
out.
Well,
Damn, man, you're all over the place.
He's out.
Yeah. Gonna be like that.
You are all over the place.
See, this is where the pug Wumpy kind of jumps out of the nowhere and runs away.
It was clearly in somebody's backpack.
Someone thought they were neat pets. Alright, it's Hugh.
back to Hugh.
It is on Hugh. You went to standing.
Yeah,
And you have
thought
a
that
ready
was all
weapon.
Hugh could do. And yeah, he stand ready. Yeah.
Doug failed so bad that he rolled in his small little flat clay flask of extreme alcohol, cracked, shattered, caught him all on fire.
It's the rules for sneaking up on the party while they're sleeping and stuff. So we would have been stunned for 1 round.
Radio. See, we learn things.
We'll sort it out eventually. Oh. Where did that come from?
Dungeon Fantasy.
Yeah, that figures. They keep making all these little improvements in other books.
In the camping and posting watches section.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right. So, yeah, I'm gonna get in close here and stabbity stab, I guess. Random.
Right. Swinging for what you can get.
And it's a good thing I didn't try to do anything fancy.
Oh no, Hugh. What you gonna do?
He needs to roll an 18 now, just so it's spread all around.
Agreed. And then, and then it's no surprise when the pug clumpy comes running out of nowhere.
Oh. I'll accept just a plain failure.
Not my foot.
What?
Not
I'm
the
re-rolling
foot.
that.
That makes sense. You're like spinning around and staying low. Stab him in the foot. That's awesome. Then he's gonna and fall down into the fire.
Alright, fine. Peer pressure gets it. Stab to the
Plus,
foot.
it's funny.
Doing
Not
shit
the
damage.
foot. I needed that toe.
Oh. Back to Hugh. I just tried to stab you in the foot.
He did stab him in the foot.
He did. Wow.
It hurts a little bit.
What weapon did you ready?
Cavalry saber.
Okay, so you'll have to back up.
Which is the
Oh, you're in C. Got it.
step and
Yep.
or step, Whiff.
And we'll take a slash at him.
Ooh. Got it in from the rear hex. -2 defense.
Ooh.
You're not going to be able to parry that. Unless he's left-handed.
Doesn't look
Ethan-
left-handed to me.
Ethan is left.
Yeah, but his character's not. Look, he's holding his right hand.
Problem solved.
That could easily have been a dodge.
Yeah, dodge is the same
And equally
value.
successful.
Bah!
And he sideslips the swinging strike from the slaver. What does the slaver do?
Slaver does nothing because Slaver can do nothing?
Oh. Ha.
I mean, yeah, you dodged that.
I keep forgetting that I have to push the button for you guys. Like,
You know what? I'm gonna try something stupid.
yay! That'll never backfire on you, ever. Especially when we're rolling extremes.
One moment.
Grabbing him.
Grabbing my leg. Would that be
Grab
a
your
dodge
leg.
to
Yeah, you can dodge.
Went in low.
get off?
And failed
Or
miserably.
not.
Damn, if you had rolled 1 point worse, then
Yep.
you would have fallen on your ass.
Anyway. Which I think is what the Slum's whole point of this was, to get him onto the prone anyway.
I believe you can use the reach one weapon at close at -4.
Each one -4. Okay.
Let go of my leg!
It might be an ego.
Let go! Let go!
Ah.
Banny throws his sword at me.
Maybe he has to. If he, oh, he was trying to parry. Oh, he was trying
No.
to swing. Oh, that means he needs to actually make crit fumble. Let's see what he does. Wobble, 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 wobble.
Okay.
Whoa.
Could have been worse.
Damn! If you were closer to the fire, you could have just tripped him into the fire.
Yeah, no. Man. What am I going to do with you now? Got your leg in one hand.
Yeah, that's why he's at -2 as well. He's only on one leg.
Good time
All
for a
right.
strike.
I think what I'm going to do here
Tickles kidneys.
is all out double.
Kick him in the balls!
Need to do a takedown and a stab, actually. I'm going to do a stab and then takedown. That's probably safer. So, do I do that?
So you have his leg grappled,
Yeah.
and you're doing a stab followed by a takedown?
Yeah.
That is literally a sequence out of one of the black belt dagger forms.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually
Falling
originally I was
dagger
thinking of
stab.
doing a hamstring, but I think I
In
might
the
make better
form,
use out
it's a
of it
gut.
to sort of fall into him with the knife, kind of thing.
Well, in the form, the strike is a femoral artery strike.
Is it? Well, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, hamstring anyway.
Why not?
Well, I'll do that.
Okay, let's just call that a swing to the leg. Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't really cut anything. And,
Hopping on one leg. You're swinging at him. Well, let's see. He can't do anything. Lose your bounce. Can do nothing else. Not even a free action until your next turn. All active defenses are at -2.
And Daniel, you did say you were doing an all-out double, right?
yeah.
Oh, you saw a second attack coming.
Yeah, I'm dealing with that. Okay, so if he gets... Okay, no, he still gets to defend, so he can resist that.
But he's at -2.
And since he's
Well,
grappled, he can't
that's
dodge.
-2 to active defenses. No, this is just to resist, so it'll be a strength contest. Although I wonder if that's affected by the fact that I've got him by one leg and
he's
makes
off
it harder,
balance.
But 13.
Yeah, he just
What?
used the ganoles on these guys.
Didn't know I was going up against bodybuilders.
Yeah, but
Seriously.
I'm going to give you the -2 because he's off balance, and you're just trying to push
Okay.
him to the ground. So,
All right, well, he's on the ground anyway.
so
Actually, I might have gotten that. You probably have called that a sacrifice throw, and I might have gotten a bonus on that anyway. So we're both prone at this point. After which I will stab the crap out of him.
Oh, that's
So
right.
he
He
gets
can't do anything on his.
He can't
He
do
can't
anything.
do anything on this round, so I'm going to do all-out double and stab him twice.
If you want to keep with the theme of following the form, that'd be a groin stab.
Well, okay, I guess it depends on which leg I got.
Groin
There's
stab.
a-
Well, you heard him, and you got to stab him in the
I-
groin.
I am
And
not
the
a ground
horses are gonna
fighter,
flinch.
so
It's just a
chances
suggestion.
are pretty good I'm going to miss this horribly. So I'm going to have to telegraph these.
his active defenses are at -2, so it doesn't matter. There's going to be
Well, he's
this
also
ear-piercing
still
screech that causes every male person within a mile to kind of like do the oh.
Oh, right. No, I'm not. I'm not going for the groin at this point. I don't feel safe that I can hit it.
You could have with that.
Well, sometimes it rolls that way. I should have gone ahead and done it with the second one or something. Never mind.
Let's see.
What?
Oh,
See, this is what I'm talking about. It's exactly this kind of bullshit.
Well, that means he dodged one.
I'm dying.
No, that means I
died.
got to roll.
Oh, right.
oh,
Well, at least in this case, it almost makes sense. Let's call it an arm.
but don't you have to roll again though?
Huh?
Because you're using a piercing melee weapon.
Oh. That's true. And here you are helping me. Oh, okay. That does
wouldn't be
not.
second
Oh,
on
I
the
rolled the wrong
criticalness.
one.
Yeah.
I rolled the wrong table. That's why that doesn't make sense. Uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
This is all
Yeah.
Mark's fault.
You insisted on this shit. So apparently that second hit was a punch.
Well, he punched me.
Random location. Come on, be groin, because that would be hysterical.
Well, I think that's probably warranted in this case.
Man, that's not even going to get through frickin' DR.
Or it will a little.
Well,
By the way, I still have his leg.
got your leg.
But I want it back. So is this the turn I do nothing, or is that last turn?
That was last turn.
Got it.
Okay. You're prone. You're grappled.
I am.
And I'm on top of you. In your defense, I'm apparently unarmed.
Because Mark insisted. You're going to be at an additional minus, I think, because you're at close.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Does that sword have close? Probably not.
No, it's just reach one.
So that's like -1 or something like that.
No, that's
It's
minus
enough.
4.
Miss. Whiff.
Whiff indeed.
The hell do I do now?
Knee him in the groin.
Actually, let me see here. I
Probably
can...
have more than one dagger. Come on.
Yeah, but I have to draw it. Well, actually, now that you say that. Yeah, no, I don't have fast draw. They're not that cool. It's only 175 points.
You
I
still
don't
have
know.
his
It
leg
really
grappled.
felt cool.
Yeah, I still have his I have his reg grappled.
Do you have any? Did you say you have no ground fighting skills?
No, I do not have ground fighting skills.
Oh, okay, that's useless then.
But I believe I can do damage. Or I could attempt to pin him. Probably not.
Twist that leg so we hear a pop come from his knee.
Well, actually, you'd hyperextend it, not twist it. But
Whatever.
that would require skill.
Okay, well, for the record, I will probably go for the pin, providing I don't find something else I can do.
I don't know. You know how strong these guys are.
If you went prone, you're in 2
Adjusted.
hexes now. So you could grab one of the rocks around the edge of the fire and smash him with it.
Yes, beat him to death with a rock.
Well, okay, yeah, to be fair, I can just grab the knife this round. I will rearm myself this round. How about that?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Back to Hugh.
You. The guy just drew it. He's got your leg. He's got a knife. Punched you in the chest.
Oh.
How can you thrust with a saber?
Exactly.
Well,
He
grapple.
didn't. He's trying to.
didn't.
He's like,
Yeah, he hadn't done it yet.
weird angle.
Pointy
All right, let's
end
try
goes.
this again. Let's say I'm going to have readied that in a reverse grip. All right, goddammit. Let's just go with the one, and hopefully that'll do. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Cut. Jesus.
Should have given this guy luck or something. Shit.
What's Hugh doing?
The same thing Hugh always does. Oh.
Oh my god!
Roll a fucking crit.
God. This is like last week.
This is insane. Yeah.
There is something wrong with Fantasy Grounds dice. I've been saying it for years.
No, it's just decided. You know what? We're tired of these characters. We're gonna kill and/or capture them all. We're like, no.
4 ones and a 20.
Yeah, that was on physical dice, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
It can be just as stupid.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, that's not too shabby.
Doesn't get through.
Well,
That's about par for the course.
Saved by the armor. Yeah, okay. Let's try this again. You know, for the 11 billionth time.
Well, it's this interesting this struggle of man against man. It's mortal even.
All right. Now, prone, grappled. Try to defend.
What's grappled do for the defense?
Oh, that's going to be -1 to dodge.
So he'd be at -2 dodge total, I think.
Oh,
That's going to do it.
Another one.
Okay. This is going to be one of those days, man.
So what does he roll on that?
Uh.
Does he have to roll anything?
Oh.
He crit failed.
Isn't it? No.
No, it's a dodge. It just means he fell down again.
Oh,
yeah,
he's been
which
on
he's
the
In
already
this
prone,
case, it
so.
doesn't really matter.
Okay, whatever. So.
Vitals.
Ooh. Okay.
Ding, ding.
Well, this might hurt.
You may feel a pinch.
Or it
Or might
my
not.
God.
do any
Or
goddamn
it doesn't
thing.
penetrate DR.
Seriously.
Did the GN throw in luck for you?
This
Doesn't
is the
matter whether the
fight
GM
that
wants to get on with it.
doesn't end. It just goes on and on, my friend.
4 hours later.
Dawn shows up, and even the PCs are staring over these two struggling.
Then it cuts to them struggling in snow. Cuts to them struggling in tall grass.
All right, damn it.
And their beards are getting longer.
All out, all out double. I want to get you.
Wow, that's really brave of you.
Okay, here we go. Uh-huh.
You've got to be kidding.
Oh no!
Fucking Christ.
No
This
way!
is insane!
All right, I'm done with this. This is over.
Okay. All right. After much struggling, eventually Assam will win out, because just skill and skill alone will do it. But he walks
3%
back.
chance, my butt.
He walks back, injured and bloodied, to the rest of the party to report that
Maybe
the slavers
with
have been taken over.
some slaves.
But
Because
he is
there were
wounded.
slaves in that thing. What are you doing with the slaves?
Hook up the horses and bring the wagon.
With the slaves
Actually,
in it.
you know what? No, I'm not going to do that.
About to say.
But Hugh comes trailing after
we don't-
as a best friend now.
we don't actually need the slaves, so I'm going to tell them they can
But
leave.
we're in the middle of nowhere, so you probably don't want to just... You should run, and they like, yeah, we're going to go get caught by somebody else.
Well, I'm going to tell them they're free to go and they can do whatever they like. But we need the wagon and the horses.
You are free to die in the desert.
There's a guy nod between Assam and Hugh as Hugh wanders back off into the desert alone.
Yep.
Wow. Hey, you know what? This is going nowhere. Let's just stop.
I don't want to die. You don't want to die. Let's just leave it. I'll even, you
You know
can
what?
have the prisoners.
My curiosity is winning.
You want to know.
Damn it! Double clicked. Yeah, it would have just taken longer. Of course, that was in the middle of that all out.
So you still would have.
So the second one would not have been able to do anything.
9 critical hits or misses throughout the through this stuff.
And then you wouldn't have been able to defend.
Yeah, but chances of him actually being able to hit.
Yeah, he
Eventually.
wasn't hitting very well.
+4 telegraph.
He was telegraphing at a -4 as well, so it was constantly back and forth. He was with ground fighting or prone melee at -4,
Right,
telegraphed at
okay,
+4.
so...
They were just
Holy crap, here come some people with horses. We have to get ready and be ready to defend. And then we see it's Islam. And maybe with some slaves and the bodies of the slavers.
I don't want to bring the wagon back to
he probably hides it somewhere.
the mosque.
Okay.
I don't want it to be seen there.
All right. So, Assam eventually returns. He does not speak of the fight between him and one of the slavers. He just says, "I lived and I have the slaves." That's all that matters. And we will, for Zistrel, you will awaken with a awful taste in your mouth, but you find that your wounds have healed. There's a small vial, a couple vials that look like they've been kind of force-fed you. But you do find that your wounds are fully healed.
Did you
And,
say
uh,
horse fed?
Horse fed you. Yep.
Force fed.
I know.
Alright,
The
so go ahead.
and the Minotaur, you've got like these bars in front of you and whatnot. You've been stripped of all your weapons. I mean, if you weren't a centaur, you'd feel naked, but you don't really feel naked, so. And across from you is that Minotaur, and he kind of looks at you. It's like, I'm glad you didn't die, because now I get to watch you bleed in the battle market. You killed my pet.
It was easy.
If it wasn't against the rules, I'd come through these bars.
Come on. I'm right here.
And a couple of the
I won't tell
gnolls,
anybody.
next to him, kind of, do the, kind of try and do the calm him down kind of thing. It's like, maybe I'll be a contender in the battle market. I'll choose you. You and your, and he holds up a spear. It's like, you killed my pet with this, and and he kind of as he holds the spear, it really looks very mundane as he's holding it, but you know that that's your spear. It's like, it will wait for you in the armory when you're ready. And it kind of wanders off. And of course,
Well, before he breaks eye contact, I'll kind of turn sideways on a little bit and raise one eyebrow at him and poop.
Just think it'd be hilarious if he tried to break that thing over his knee and it wouldn't.
Yeah. He probably has tried. It's like, but so he goes off.
He's a Minotaur. He probably didn't take that poop as being offensive. He probably would have pooped himself. Big sloppy one.
Yeah, but he wears pants.
Yeah, but only his head is a bowl.
Lanfan, are you there?
Yeah.
You wake also in a cell. There is one other woman in the cell with you, and she kind of sits in the a corner. But what draws your attention immediately is this woman, flanked by two robed men. You cannot. Their faces are cowled, but the rest of their bodies are very muscular. And she's kind of like staring at you and through the bars, and it's like, I hear you are a very, lithe warrior. You might make a good addition to my own cadre of fighters. I can't wait to see you fight on the morrow. And then
Huck through.
That a dwarf.
like, I will own you. She replies back in the same tongue. It's like, and you have spunk. I like spunk.
She remains silent but glares with a beautiful glare at this woman.
I can't wait to break you. And then she kind of wanders off,
While this is going on, there's a slave in the next cell. He says, I'll be my bunk.
Thorn.
Oh, wait. My bunk is the whole room. Thorn has had a couple of days to stop freaking the hell out.
Yep. And they kind of change. They pull
Dawn
the
has also
cloth.
received some magical messages too. It's like, dude,
Yep.
we're coming.
Then at some point, they throw a bag to you and say, "Put it on," and and then you feel the
He
chains
puts it
go.
on his head.
Yep, and then and they drag it over your, so you can't see, and eventually they wrestle you to some chains, and then you feel yourself kind of be pulled around through what you can hear, like people talking and other stuff, and eventually you get, they stop and they pull off your covering, and sitting in front of you is this really large man, and these two women, and he kind of glares at you. It's like, this is the fighter that you say that is, worthy of my coin?
And his little monkey goes, ah!
Dowa Jowanki Chewbacca.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, a half-breed. And one of the women kind of walk. You have your chain. Yeah, they have. One of the Knowles is kind of holding your arms back, and one of the women kind of come up and touches your chest and kind of puts her hand down. You can feel the tingle of magic as she's like, "Oh, my master, he will do very well for us. I say we bid on him." And then the other one kind of walks to your side and kind of gets real close.
You
gets
get my
real
back
close.
there, it itches like right in that spot where I can't reach.
Like, he has spirit, master. We can not only fight him, but we can possibly mate him too. And then they kind of leave you as like, very well, my pretties. If you want to,
Can we do that part first?
Then I will bid on him. First, I would like to see him fight. And take the merchandise away. I bore of his face. And they
Just as long as he doesn't want to see us mate. That'd kind of ruin the mood.
And the black cloth goes back over your face, and you get dragged back off again. And about that, and sometime later, you guys are approaching the, start making the rest of you will start making your way towards town, and we end with the scene of you guys with the cart and with some covering, some new clothing taken from the slavers' gear, a wagon with 2 donkeys, and whatever other, and a plan to free your friends, and that's how we will
some
cut
cleanup
scene.
required.
It's a half-assed plan, maybe 12% of a plan.
Yeah, maybe 13, but probably 12.
And we will call it scene as.
And maybe next week, Mark won't vamp us the entire time.
I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe next time my Tylenol will work.
Slacker.
Oh, there's that too.
What sort of headache is it?
That's in the back of my head.
It's like a pressure headache?
That's my guess.
Squeeze your head.
Oh, that's what I would be doing. Yeah, counter pressure.
So, have the wife nail your foot to the floor. So that
would
way
work
if
she was here.
Okay, have one of the kids nail your foot to the floor.
I don't need to give them
Would you
any
trust
more
them
ideas.
to do it right?
What could go wrong?
Right?
Have
Make sure
them
you
just
get it-
beat your foot with a hammer. That'll distract you from your headache.
It's true. All right. Sorry, guys, but what's up? Go ahead.
I was just going to say that A doctor friend of mine told me that acetaminophen and ibuprofen work by completely different methods biologically, so you can take them both if a headache
right.
isn't
Yeah,
knocked
I
out by
stack.
one or the other.
Yeah,
Unless
I
you've been
stack.
told by your doctor to stop taking ibuprofen.
Or acetaminophen, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
generally
I was
stack
told,
when I can.
Do you take ibuprofen? I'm like, Doc, I was infantry for 4 years. Because you need to stop taking ibuprofen.
Candy.
I'm like, oh.
Is it all NSAIDs that you're supposed to not take, or just ibuprofen?
Well, he just asked if I took ibuprofen. I'm like, yeah, I do. Now I just take Tylenol if I need it.
Because you might be able to still take aspirin, which works
Yeah,
similarly to...
neither of the above.
Well, it works in a similar fashion as Motrin, but it isn't actually an all-natural.
At any rate, no worries.
All right,
Don't
sorry.
worry about it.
But yeah, we'll call that for the tonight. Point apiece for everyone.
Gracias.
Yay, points.
And
I kind of want to keep Aslam around after this.
that's fine.
May have to, we may have to. Ooh, how many points is he? 175.
Yeah.
We may have to burn some points for an ally.
That would be funny. And no one will ever know how that fight went.
No one will ever know.
Don't worry, he will always
At least
know
up to that.
until he dies in the
Up to
desert.
that last one, it actually went okay.
Yeah, it went weird.
But
I
you know,
thought you
to
had
be fair, if you ever watch real fights on YouTube or anything like that, it is so messy. And honestly, that's probably exactly how it would go.
Yeah, and the ground is where it gets weird in real life.
Especially when they're both untrained at it.
Yeah, if I had taken a little longer to create that character, I might have worked some of those things in. I'm actually surprised I forgot about the fast draw. That would have been a good idea.
And some judo or jujitsu.
Yeah, well, wrestling probably.
Yeah, same difference.
So I have 3 fighters and 3 people who want to see either own them or see them perish.
Yep. And some people other than me and Daniel need to, I think maybe Carrie as well, need to create organizations and or peoples to be present.
Yep. No, I got one from.
I did.
Yep, I got one from Carrie.
I made one during my study break.
I've yet to submit one.
I sort of
So.
did too, technically.
Yes, you did, and I'm running with it. If all you guys want to do is come up with a fighter for them to fight, then that will work too.
I will totally do that. I'm going to
keep
build
it
the
to.
Minotaur.
Aw, man.
Let's see. I have the Minotaur.
He's going to be
built.
750 points. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't going to fight, though. He was just...
Bah! He hates you. He's coming in.
He might come in.
I did
He's going
taunt
to
him.
tag in.
I did poop at him.
It's true. Oh, I was going through my character list here, and I had a character made called Fincy McWielder. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, that was
yeah.
the one that I was helping Ethan out with, and I didn't have a name
Yeah.
at the time.
That was his whip name.
Fancy McWielder.
Yeah, all I knew is he was going to be a dual wielder that used fencing, Fencing McWielder, and then I got his
Wow.
name from a name generator.
Huh? I
That
thought I
totally
had
sounds like the sort of thing you would do.
Yeah.
Huh, I thought I had a Minotaur.
I got your Minotaur picture.
There's a Minotaur in Devon Knight.
Oh, I've got a.
Wow, that dude. Boagrius!
I've got a token for him.
Right. Two-handed axe. Got it.
I'd have no trouble starting an IV on that guy.
Right?
Unless his veins are all rolly.
Nope. If I can see them that clearly, I don't care if they roll. I can stick it.
All right. Cool beans.
If you guys, if you want, you can even like I said, if you don't want to create an organization or go that hard, if you want to just do a fighter that can get pitted. If you do a fighter other than the Minotaur, keep it to about 150 point fighter.
Understood.
But the Minotaur will be different. I'll speak with Finn.
Oh man.
Oh, it's not to. It won't be anything you can't win. Dude, you kicked my other dude's tail in one move.
Oh, the Manticore?
Well, the Manicore and my the other the other centaur that you fought was just a straight rip from you. It's minus a few things.
Just pure tactics.
Yeah, it truly was. But he was, I had to play him like a hothead, so he was not, he was way, way, way more overconfident and et cetera, and just dumb, like Truck. So, if you have just an idea of an organization, you don't even have to completely flesh it out. Just say, hey, how about something like this? Daniel did put in a list of folks that could potentially be there, so if you want to pick something like that and kind of give a little bit of life to it, that can work too.
Some corrupt bishop from Caithness might show up.
I might.
I was
really
thinking
far
about
away
that,
from
but
there.
well, it's not the distance in that case, but Caithness slavery is not legal, so
Right. But the bishop is corrupt, so he's come to.
yeah, you'd have to do some gymnastics there to make that work. I was thinking of it from the standpoint of where is it legal. And actually, I'm not entirely sure that the Sahudis would even do that.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily anything that has to be a. It's more just, that they are there. It doesn't necessarily need to be somebody that's going to be, prominent NPC in the, unless I can figure a way to write them in to make them so. But they'll be a personality that might be there that you guys can utilize to your, to bend to
or they're
however
just
you want.
so super cool that you have to keep them.
Or they're just so super cool that I use them.
Yeah, so my bishop from Caithness is just filthy rich from, graft.
Yeah,
and this is one
douche.
of his vices. He's just a guy there who he shows up. He likes to bet on the fights. And then he travels back every year.
Oh, he's not actually buying slaves. He's just watching the fight.
Exactly, and betting on them.
Yeah, I can see that.
And he has security and entourage and stuff like that because he can afford it.
Well, there you go.
Boy, he's gonna be pissed. Wait till Archbishop Mendel finds out about this dude.
Yeah, not gonna be anything left but his boots.
That's right, because he's gonna zap his ass.
I wonder if he would.
So just to give you guys a little bit of heads up, so for next week, I do kind of have plans that I'm going to set 3 different circles up, so the fight will just kind of go on at once.
Okay.
So I'll have 3 different maps, one a combat tracker, so Lonfon, Zistral, and Thorn will fight, and then everyone else will play their opponents. And then And then what we can do is work out how we, if you guys want to use the skill check stuff.
What if we
Or
fought
do
on
it.
one map? Because there's only one arena, right?
Right, but it'll be 3 different fights at 3 different times. It's kinda-
Well, yeah. However, if it's 3 different fights in the same arena, couldn't they conceivably be on the same map?
Oh, it will be. It's just what I mean is I'm gonna basically open up 3 different maps. That way,
They
But-
are separated chronologically.
yeah, they're chronologically
Oh. Okay, so we're not all fighting at the same time.
separate. Right.
Ah, okay, understood.
Although it apparently the way they did it in the Roman arenas was they would have multiple fights going on.
Yeah, and that's what I was
individual
picturing.
fights.
That's
I
where
just
the
don't know if the
Bailey and
area
Barnum
is
3-ring
big enough.
circus concept came from.
Yeah,
My
there probably isn't room there for that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it kind of cheats you guys on the area in which to maneuver, especially for this.
Because you know where I was going. I was going with us getting back to back and being able to protect each other and stuff.
Oh, and yeah, I totally saw that too.
So it's 3 different fights that will be played out simultaneously.
Correct.
Although back to
Got
back with Zistral is kind of awkward.
Yeah, he
Well,
keeps
it's
running
back to
off.
side to back. Back to flank to back.
You swack me in the head one more time with that tail.
You had to fly.
Cool.
Oh, Zistral
then-
totally needs to knot that thing.
So
Let me rephrase that. Zistral needs to have somebody totally knot that thing.
Can't reach T-Rex arms.
And then for the others is some of the storylines that I've gotten from you guys for these will kind of play into how you guys can gain. I'm trying to think how I want to do it. If I want to kind of, you guys, for each minor, like, kind of do it like mini missions that buy you successes. And once you reach a certain number, that's why I was thinking skill checks.
Yeah.
And
could see
once
that.
you have a certain number of successes, then you can cash them in for a jailbreak, or we buy
An
them. We have enough.
opportunity.
Yeah, the opportunity is there. You can either buy them, however you want to build. Like, hey, if you guys help me take out this slaver dude, we'll help you, give you money, or we'll provide the distraction to help you break through, or we'll pick the locks or whatever. That buys you that success. It could be if you get in good with these slavers, they might be able to do something here, or this person, like say the elf, she might be willing to help out if you do something, or even if you just win her over by force of personality, she might be able to use some of her skills to buy you guys a success or do something, and it all kind of works out to this. All right, you have what you need. How does this play out? You buy Arn or you buy Lanfan, but you spring these guys, or you just cause a major. You've sown enough dissent that the whole thing collapses in an anarchy, and in the confusion and fighting, you guys escape, kind of thing.
And
It's
then
how
afterward,
you guys
we
want to
can
play it
forever
out.
afterward we can forever tell Anfeng that we own her.
Ha!
And that's when she murdered him.
So that's
Silently
kind of
fuming over here.
so that's
Ooh.
kind of where I'm. Those are my thinky thoughts. So by all means, forum if you have any other thinky thoughts that might help. If there's-
Afterward, Lanfeng needs to teach the Sand Ninja the real ninja stuff, and he can take it back to his people. It's the weirding way.
Her name is a killing word.
Nope, that's mine.
So Finn, my current plan now is to find you a Min or Avienda think Avian is the
Great.
only one that you haven't really found. Other
What are you
than
talking about? I
take the-
got that already.
Well, but she's not the fighter type. She's more like the Min type. But she's also the noble type, so she meets the Elaine type. So she kind of fits all three. So I got to kind of do that the same way, only different.
No,
for
I'm
each
gonna
of them.
murder you.
What are you talking about? What are
Guys,
these
He's
types?
being dumb.
have you read
Wheel of Time references.
Yeah, I don't get it though.
Rand al'Thor had ended up with 3 wives.
Oh.
Ish. But technically, he never actually married any of them.
Well, 3 women.
Okay, Min, Elaine. All right, now I get it.
Yep. So, whereas the
Avienda was the best.
of
Although
course it was.
Min was
I like Min.
really
It's-
close.
Yeah, Min's a yeah. So I kind of, if you call Min a bard, then
Die in a fire, Mark.
so all right, everyone. Thanks. Sorry again for not having something super ready to go. My brain just is not functioning as well tonight as I wished it to have been.
If you hadn't told us, we would never have known.
Is it ever?
That's not true.
I would never have known.
Ah, well, there.
All right. Thanks, stream.
So thank you, stream.
Stream out.
Good night, stream.
Putting up with us.
Thank you, Callie.